welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Wednesday, November 24th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories right here can also be found at our website at indiancountrynews.com. And here are some of the news stories for the day from the Associated Press and other Native news sources. A 39-year-old Canadian man has been sentenced to concurrent 25-year prison terms for the slaying on the Mohawk Reservation at New York's northern border. Richard Oakes denied killing Thomas Hathaway in Franklin County Court this week before being sentenced for first-degree manslaughter and first-degree burglary. The Press Republican of Plattsburgh reports that the Quebec residents had earlier pled guilty to the charges but then tried to withdraw the pleas. Authorities say Hathaway was shot twice in the head before his house was set ablaze in September of 2008. There likely will be no Indian Maiden Lakes or Indian Maiden Peak in Jackson County. During its recent meeting, the Oregon Geographic Names Board declined to replace Squaw in local geographic names such as Squaw Lakes with Indian Maiden. The reason, explained member Stuart Allen of Medford, is that the name change submitted by a local resident sounded nice but lacked the gravitas the board sought. Indian Maiden is kind of an idealized Arcadian name, he said. Nobody on the board approved it. But what we would really like are Native American names that make sense for each place. He says they're waiting for the tribes to make some proposals on those name changes. An attempt by 3 Navajo lawmakers to override a presidential veto of a wind energy project in Cameron has failed. The Navajo Nation Tribal Council voted 57 to 27 this Tuesday against the override during a special session in Window Rock, Arizona. The measure needed 59 votes, or two-thirds of the 88-member council, to pass. Tribal President Joe Shirley Jr. said the project wouldn't give the tribe a controlling interest and lacked the required reviews. But he says what most troubled him was a statement made on the council floor by a lawmaker who said he was offered a bribe to support the project. Raymond Max, a co-sponsor of the override measure, said the project was important in moving the tribe toward an economy that focuses on renewable energy sources. Ramah Navajo Foods has announced plans to open a meat processing and wholesale distribution center in McKinley County. Ramah Navajo Foods is a joint venture between Blue Mountain Meats of Monticello, Utah, and the Navajo Nation's Ramah chapter in western New Mexico. State officials say this will be the first tribal public and private economic development project in the state. The New Mexico Economic Development Department, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, McKinley County, the City of Gallup, and others are also helping with the project. The company expects to process 2,000 animals annually and will initially employ 12 people. After living a long life as a Benedictine sister and an educator, Zelma Peltier now has a new position to add to her resume. Politician. Peltier, who recently won a seat on the Turtle Mountain Tribal Council, said that for years her students at the Turtle Mountain Community College had been after her to run for public office. On November 2nd, voters on the Turtle Mountain Reservation elected Peltier to serve as one of 2 representatives for the reservation's District 4. She received roughly 25% of the total votes cast, making her the second highest vote getter in that district. She, along with her new colleagues, will be sworn in at an inaugural ceremony in Belcourt, North Dakota, on December 5th. At 78 years old, Peltier is beginning a new chapter in the book that is her life. Construction could start later this year on a South Carolina rock art center designed to protect and preserve petroglyphs that were chiseled into the landscape centuries ago at what is now the Hagood Mill site. The site and its rock carvings are more likely some of the oldest cultural elements that they have in the upstate that still exist, said Alan Coleman, executive director of the Pickens County Museum and Hagwood Mill Historic Site and Folklife Center. Ed Bolt, site manager for Hagood Mill, said that more than 40 petroglyphs, 17 which are human figurines, were discovered in a large rock outcropping at the site in the year 2003. Bolt said it is believed the carvings date back more than 1,000 years. Fundraising for the center started about 5 years ago. A renewed push began in the year 2009 after efforts had been stalled by the struggling economy. And that's going to be the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. Join us again on Friday, November 26th, when we touch base with Alaska Public Radio Network News Director Lori Townsend with an Alaska update on the news. And we hope that you have a happy turkey or buffalo steak or whatever it is you're going to do tomorrow on the 25th of November, when people tend to just rest and relax and eat some more. So, miigwech. Come back again soon.